What is up, the peoples of the YouTuber versus? Once again, welcome back to the channel. It's lovely, as always, to see all of your smiling faces here today. I don't know where the time lapse stopped, but as you guys can see, we got the bumper on, we've got the bonnet mounted, we got everything on this car, and we're gonna go on the first drive during daylight, and we're actually gonna take it on a fairly decent length drive. It's gonna be about 8 kilometers, somewhere around there. For the non-English speaking people on that side of the world, 8 kilometers is about 5 miles, something like that. I don't know. But yeah, so everything's mounted up. Our bonnet, our bumper's on pretty well. The bonnet's on. The gaps suck. That's just the way it is. I'm not sure why they suck. Okay, I'm lying. I know exactly why they suck this much. So the engine mounts, right? We got this one in perfectly. On this side, I'm gonna put up a picture right here, right? So as you guys can see, we had to make an adapter, right? And that's because the chassis arm is slightly off. So once we get the car back from the body shop, which once again, I don't know when that's going because they're doing it for free, so I'm not gonna hassle them to try and figure out, you know, push them for a date. But if it's being done, it's being done. I just need to wait till that's done. But we made this little adapter bracket with a flat piece of aluminium, where basically, you guys watched me cut through it, drilled a couple of holes in it just to give an offset, right? Now, for those of you who are thinking this isn't safe, you have to remember the gauge of that aluminium is quite thick. Secondly, the bolt on which the aluminium is resting, so the bolt runs through here. I'll circle it over here in the picture. So that bolt, as you guys can see, is leaning on the actual engine mount itself. So there's no real flex to that plate, and that plate isn't really going to go anywhere, right? So that's just basically to connect us to our engine mount. Yeah, so now we've got the battery and everything hooked up. What we're going to do next is we're going to quickly pull the car out. Well, start the car. Let's try and get that CAS set slightly better. CAS, once again, for you who don't realize what a CAS is, it is a cam angle sensor that adjusts basically the cam dynamically. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start the car, try and see if we can get the car sound a little bit better, and then from there we're going to pull the car out, give it a quick wash, and then go for the maiden voyage during the daylight. You know, this is going to be our first proper shakedown run. We're going to check fluids, we're going to check everything, and we're just going to make sure that the car is actually responding happily to what we've done. You can already hear that this engine is a lot happier as it stands, right? actually don't even think we're going to adjust the CAS. Let's just pull the car out and get her washed and see how it goes. So like we said, we know that this rattle is the exhaust hanger that connects to the gearbox, right? So like I said, I know I don't have that connected properly. So barring that rattle, everything else seems fine for now. So let's start the journey and then we see how everything goes. Hopefully it all goes according to plan. One of my doors is open. Oh, it's my door. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. Okay, so we adjusted the CAS and it is running a lot better. I'm getting a little bit of jerk while driving. Not sure what that is yet, but we'll see. Hopefully, let's see, maybe it starts sorting itself out slightly, does something, but let's have a look. Other than the steel sound, which I'm assuming is the sound of the exhaust hanger, like I said, so there's a bracket that kind of sits like this and the gearbox that sits like this, and it sounds like they're doing this because, like I said, there's no bolt through it. Other than that, it sounds good, it's driving well. I'm seeing a few things though. It does feel like it's a bit down on power. I've only driven this car like 3 times, so I'm not 100% sure. I also can't push it really hard or put it into boost because we're bedding in rings, so it's kind of unfortunate about that. But all in all, she seems to be doing pretty damn well. Temps are good, actually under temp. That I know is because the radiator cowling is currently off the car, as you guys saw. But yeah, so far she's driven pretty damn well, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so we went and made some adjustments and it sounds like all of the scraping noises are finally gone, right? So next we just have to figure out what this knocking kind of sound is. Apparently it might be the cat, might be cowling, there might be multiple things. I don't know. Could really be anything, right? But she's driving smoothly, she's nice, and things sound good. Okay, so there we have it for this week's episode, guys. So we managed to get the new engine mounts in. We took the car for a drive. We found the issue or problematic sounds, right? So the first sound was an issue of the exhaust hanger that attaches to the gearbox mount. That was busy knocking the whole time because I didn't tighten that down. The second one was that steel scraping noise. Now what that was I'll try and see if I can insert the clip. But essentially when we put the gearbox down, there's a steel housing like this where the prop essentially goes into, and what happened was that deformed and became more of an oval as we put it down, obviously. So the universal joint was actually scraping on the inside there, which isn't too much of a problem. It's a very thin sheet metal versus a cast iron piece. So that has been resolved. I basically just flexed it back into place and that scraping sound is completely gone. So there are still a few issues on the car. So I took the car to Pretoria, which is around 50 kilometers in that direction, had to then turn around and come back like another 80 kilometers back here because we took a detour on the way back. Issues that we found on the car. Headlights suck, firstly, that's a 90s car problem. Secondly, we tested the boost level because it's supposed to have a T25 in this engine, and it seems like, firstly, we're only getting onto boost at 5,000 RPM. So that is way too late. We should be in boost at around 1,500 to 2,500. Yeah, so we should be in boost somewhere around there. So inspecting the turbo, we found out that we don't have a normal T25, we have a T25G, which is supposed to come into boost at around 3.5 to 3.8. Now the issue is we're only getting into 0.5 bar boost at 5,000. So I know I shouldn't be boosting the car, but I needed to check what was happening because the car felt very sluggish and very down on power. So I hooked up the bar, the boost gauge, just very backyards, ran it through the window and everything like that, just to check it. And like I said, we're only coming on to boost at 5,000. So we need to try and see, maybe there's a boost leak, maybe there's a couple other issues that might actually be an answer for the terrible idling issues. It might be injectors, it might be fuel pump, it might be multiple things. So we need to investigate what that is. But that's going to be the next things that we're going to start working on. Now, in the next episode, the reason we went to Pretoria was to go and pick up the new exhaust for the car. So in the next episode, we're going to be throwing the new exhaust on. We're going to be throwing the new intake on there. We just got the last part 3 printing, which is just essentially an adapter plate for the MAF. So we're going to throw that on there, and then we're going to have to do boost leak tests and things like that, trying to figure out where we could possibly be losing this power. This is a 1.8 dual overhead cam. The power that I was feeling feels very much like it is, I don't know, like a 300cc that weighs 6 tons, because it is terrible. But yeah, so that's going to be in the next episode. So thank you guys all for watching once again. Remember to leave a comment, let me know what you guys think we should do next on the car, actually. Yeah, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you aren't already, and thank you all for watching, and love you, miss you, bye.